Hi guys, it's Paul Pluta and I'm back in the saddle. Yes. Hopefully not. Yeah, I just posted a very interesting video on Elite Broadcasting about horse racing in Australia. But let's jump straight in. Quick whisk before we start that, and this is review 9 SE11. And I'm wearing a Polar Explorer 2. Here we go. This is a paid review, 9 SE11. And it goes, Dear Mr. Archie, I'm a new fan of your YouTube channel, to be precise, about 2 weeks. I really enjoy your presence in your YouTube videos. The fact you don't mind screaming out fuck words, F words, and be yourself. If anything, you're one of the most entertaining YouTubers on watches that I've come across. Thank you for bringing so much joy. No worries. I'm relatively a newbie to the watch world, just little over 3 months, but I've been an avid collector of cameras for 6 years. Within those 6 years, not only have I come to amass a wonderful collection of vintage cameras and lenses, but also enjoyed learning about it. I guess it would be similar with watches, if not with much more knowledge than I need to learn. My collection has only one watch, Anonymous Metro Date Power Reserve, reference 1101. I enjoy the Bauhaus aesthetics of it and the beautiful polish on the movement. I do want to get some more watches in the years to come, but I am quite happy with what I have right now. Here are a few questions that I hope you can answer. There are a few watches that I really admire, and I am thinking of getting one of these in the future. They are letter A, Patek 5196G, that's the white gold manual wine Calatrava. A Patek 5212A, that's the new, it's steel. Thank you. Steel. Cheers, fuckers. Beer. That's steel weekly calendar. C, a Lange 1815 up down, reference 234.026. And D, a Lange Saxonia thin, if they ever came out. One with blue hands. Okay. It is noticeable there are no Rolex, Omega, Vacheron, Breguet, and AP being mentioned. I think they are great, just not my favorite. Maybe Patek and Lange are the two brands that I truly admire. Omega Speedmaster thing might be an exception. Okay, so let's see what his questions are there. What can I say there? That's what he likes. He likes those watches. So here are a few questions. One, there are a few. Okay. So first, I suppose let's just clarify the first question. Conservative dress watches. Out of that fold there, I'd probably say the 5196 is probably the classic Patek Calatrava, 37mm. I think on the secondary market, they are soft. They're a bit soft. I think the new steel Calatrava, very expensive unless you get a big chunk of money. Out of those four watches there, I would think the 5196 is the best starter Patek. Best, and I think it's probably, why do I like it best? Because I think Patek, if you're going to decide, if you're getting a really expensive watch, Patek over Lange, get the Patek. You can get a Lange later on. I didn't say don't ever get a Lange, but I think the 5196, there's quite a number of examples. They're not that rare. They are readily on the second-hand market. Classic Patek, manual wind, just a very simple, elegant watch. The 5212, that's the new weekly calendar. I think they'll be far more expensive. You probably, for the price of a 5212, you could get three 5196s. Is it 3 times the watch? I don't think so. I think the 5196. What do I think of the 1815 up down? Yes, Lange, that is a beautiful reference. Yes, beautiful. I still think the Patek's got the edge. And the Lange Saxonia Thin, that's also another beautiful watch. I still think the Patek 5196 has the edge. So out of those 4, I would say Patek 5196. And that's because it's classic Patek, classic Patek. It's precious metal. It's relatively, it's not super rare. In all honesty, it's probably mass produced. Compared, out of all those 4, it's probably, there's more on the secondary market. It's a great watch. It is a great watch. There's no question of that. That's where I'd be going. You're saying there's no... Well, it's up to you, whatever you like. You don't have to like Rolex, Omega, Vacheron, Breguet, or AP. It's what you like. So I would say 5196, 5196. I think they're great bang per buck. They're a bit soft because they're dress watch. People are a bit scared of that genre. Number two, you once said that every man should have a Rolex. There is a lot of truth in that. Frankly, Rolex might be the most influential and recognized brand in the past 50 years, i.e. anyone would recognize a Rolex either by the look or by its style, but not many people would know about Patek. Yet I could not find myself liking Rolex, mostly because they are so popular, so recognizable. However, there is not denying the quality that is Rolex. Should I get a Rolex in my life or not? If so, what model would you recommend? Very, very good question there. I had a pretty big Rolex collection and I sold them all off. I've got one left. I've got my Explorer 2, which I got to be completely frank with you. I love this watch. I've had this watch for many, many years, but I might be flicking. Why? Because a Patek's coming up. See, with Rolex, they are easily saleable. Is it sad to sell it? Yes, it is. But I'm really excited to get the incoming Patek. So I do believe every man should have a Rolex. Every man should have a Rolex. Occasionally, you may not have one. Well, that's okay. They are easily tradable. You can always come back into Rolex. It might cost you money, but you can always come into them. And I've got to be honest with you. Should every man have one? I think yes. Why do I say that? Well, I'm a huge lover of that genre. I'll have 5 Pateks, all precious metal, all on leather straps, and I'll have a Jaeger-LeCoultre Ultra Reverso Grand Date, all on leather straps. The Reverso will be in steel. That's my beater. So, Rolex. Do I think it's a mistake not to have... Look, I can always get a Rolex again. They are plentiful. You got to pay the price, pay the piper. What do I think? If you want a Rolex but you don't want a Rolex, the Clayton's Rolex. That's what I love about the Explorer 2. It's a little bit oddball. But if what would I get? I reckon for you, if you love the Bauhaus design, I'd probably say this is a combination of retained value and saleability and bang per buck. 3 Rolexes for you would be Rolex 39mm Explorer 1, Bauhaus design, simple form and function. Number 2 would be the Milgauss beautiful watch. And number 3 would be the Air King 40 mil. So I think those, if you're not a Rolex fanboy, though, any of those would be sensational. The reason I say get a Rolex, they're steel, you can swim with them, well, providing the seals are not fucked as fuck die, and it's just such a cool watch to travel with, okay? So, look, you don't have to get one. I really it's not going to shock me. I'm not on the payroll. No one pays me nothing to promote one, but I think every man should. Doesn't mean that, even me, I'm selling it. I'm selling it for the paddock. Well, that had to be done. That decision had to be made. Do I regret it? No. I just got to find the funds. It's easily to turn that into cash. But I believe every man should have a Rolex. Just a great casual beater. Great casual watch to have to get things done. So, as I said there, what would I recommend? Simple. Sports, steel sports, no date. Okay, number 3, question 3. I do intend to have some vintage watches in my life, yet I do think it would need a bit more research and knowledge for me to feel comfortable buying one of those off eBay, definitely. By the way, I got my Nomis from eBay. Yes, my first watch, kind of sad, a lot. It kind of says a lot about me. Oh, I don't know about that. Here are a few watches that I've been interested in. Universal Geneve Power Router, Universal Geneve Tri-Compacts, Vacheron with 1003 or 1001 movement. That's the simple manual wind movements, or a IWC caliber 89. I would like to know what you think of those, and if you have any recommendations. Look, vintage is very much a minefield. Vintage is very much a minefield. You've got to understand, a lot of these vintage pieces, you can't wear them that much because they're not as, even vintage Submariners or GMTs, they're not hardy fuckers. They're watches to be respected. Look, I honestly would say, my honest opinion is that there's some good bang per buck there. The Vacherons with that manual wind movement tend to be a little small. The Universal Geneve, the power pole router and the compacts, they seem to be the only models. I would probably say get a Rolex date, just be done. That's what I'd be doing. I don't know if I'd really it's a minefield. Stay out of vintage. I don't particularly like those choices of vintage. No. I kind of like modern vintage. What would I get a vintage piece? I think the IWC 3227, that's the one with the in-house, that's the IWC I used to have. I'd love to get one of those again. I think that's just beautifully done, beautifully made, in-house movement. That's kind of my sort of type of vintage I would go. But hey, Archie, thanks for reading this so far. I'm looking forward to your thoughts. Very best, Joey, a big fan. So there we go, Joey. Joey, I would honestly say to you, get the Patek 5196. Not because it's the best out of all of those watches. I think it's probably the most mass market of them, and yeah, there's a ready supply. You'd also be able to sell it relatively easy, and it's also just classic Patek. As for a Rolex, if you like Bauhaus design, stick to a steel sports, no date. As for vintage is a big minefield. I would probably just think long and hard. Vintage can be really, really difficult. It's very difficult. So I'd tend to say look, you've got enough, the Patek and the Rolex, that's a lot of money. So start working. That's what I would say to you. Start working and see which way it goes. Okay, guys, that's Paul Pluta. Paid reviews. Please, guys, like, subscribe. Tell your fuckhead friends. Don't be afraid to put some nasty comments below. Guys, man cannot survive on Google Ads alone. I need paid reviews to keep me full-time on the YouTubes, because it's hard, man. It's very hard to survive on the YouTubes. So please, man, if you haven't done a paid review, send one in. I'm getting back into the swing. What else am I doing? Also, guys, Patreon. You can sponsor me on Patreon. It keeps me full-time. So yeah, that's ways you can help me. Keep watching the videos, guys. I'm Paul Pluta. Tell me what you fuckaroonies think of that. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury on an Emirates 777. I'm just talking watches and drinking coffee. Talking watches and drinking coffee. In business class on Emirates.
Oh. Hey Archie fans, if you're into luxury, then you gotta be into 66 Buick Rivieras. Check out my son and I, Alex, as we restore this beautiful 66 Buick.
Neighbors are having a picnic, you know, having fun and stuff. Me, I'm doing cars. It's what I've done my whole life.
David SW. Who does ArchieLuxury recommend is the greatest grey market dealer in America? There's only one choice, David SW. That's right, guys. I've got to tell you the honest truth. I have, for a long time, been looking for the perfect answer. Who do I recommend people go to see? Who do I recommend that people can go and buy watches? And I've got to be honest with you. The greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet is David SW. DavidSW.com. That's right, guys. I have been looking for a contact who I can very nicely refer people to. I am not in the selling business. Customer service, I'm too old to sell watches. I'm too old. I like to recommend my viewers to a reliable source. In Australia, I've got some great sources. There's Sydney Watch Exchange with Cove, Ronnie at Vintage Watch Co, Shani at European Watch Gallery. And in America, who is the best source for pre-owned Rolex? For all the hot models? There's only one person I would recommend, David SW. That is the premier source for pre-owned Rolex. I gotta be completely frank and honest with you. Guys, if you are looking for a hot Rolex model, there is only one place you can go to. David SW. Let's be honest, guys. There's no point schmoozing the dealers, the ADs. They're just a waste of time. Unless you're going to buy 20 pieces, you are wasting your time. What you're better off to do is pay the market premium and go to a good pre-owned dealer. Who do I recommend? David SW. That's correct, guys. I want to tell you this now. I 100% stand behind David SW. David SW, the greatest pre-owned dealer in the entire United States of America. That's right. the greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, for Patek Philippe, for Audemars Piguet, David S.W. He even does things like FP Journe. David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. That's right. If you want to buy a pre-owned Rolex, a Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, there's only one good source I would recommend. David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III, and I'm proud to recommend David S.W. See you later. Thank you for watching this channel.